Oh, snaps, dudes. My 3 prom dates totally found out about each other. At the reunion. My name's Pete. I'm 23. And I didn't think my little secret would ever catch up to me. I had been sleeping on the couch for a while now, and totally clueless why. One day, I come home from work, and the wife is stonewalling me. I can't make her smile to save my life, and it's like this big mystery. I hated playing these stupid games, and I didn't get why she had to be all cryptic about everything. See, I met my wife in high school, but we weren't exactly sweethearts, if you follow. I'll tell you which one I married later, but this is kinda about what I learned from trying to take 3 different girls to the prom. I got away with it too, until the 5-year reunion. I didn't want to go, but like I said, I had been sleeping on the couch, and my wife was dropping these hints. So I sent her a little text one night and asked her to be my date. I figured I'd turn on what charm I had left with the missus, and I was in luck. She thought it was a great idea, and I was warming up to the idea of recreating our prom night, if you're picking up what I'm throwing down. Back in high school, I wasn't much of a ladies' man. I spent most of my Friday nights playing Boggle with my parents. My best friend Penelope and I weren't very popular, and we made this pact to skip the prom and watch a Star Wars marathon at my house. Then, at the last minute, her ex-boyfriend asked her to go, and she totally ditched me. I didn't know what I was going to do, but something really awkward happened at school. There's this girl, Grace, who had some skin condition, and sometimes she wore these sun sleeves and some protective head covering. Those bratty popular girls were cyberbullying her pretty hard, and it involved me one time. Apparently, Grace had a big crush on me, and one of the girls found a bunch of unsent love letters, and they smeared it all over the internet. And by lunchtime, the whole school heard about it. I saw her sitting at a table by herself. Everybody was pointing and laughing, and it just made me sick. So I went up to her. She thought I was mad and asked if I was going to make fun of her too. "No," I said. "I wanted to ask if you would be my date to the prom." She was excited, and I felt good. I didn't plan on going to prom, but I figured there wasn't anything else to do, so why not? But then I saw Penelope running down the hall, howling like a wounded animal. I found out that Penelope's Prince Charming dumped her, and she was beyond upset. She already bought her dress and booked a hair appointment. She felt awful, and I think I felt worse listening to her whine. I thought maybe we could all go as friends. I was about to tell her about Grace, but she kind of misunderstood and thought I was asking her to the prom. "OMG," she said, "I'd love to be your date." She wrapped her arms around my neck, and I felt like I couldn't take back what I didn't exactly say, and so I just let her hug me. I didn't know what to do. How do you take back a prom invite? I would be no better than that jerk that dumped Penelope right after asking her out. Before I could find my way out of the mess, I got everything tangled up 10 times worse. So the popular crowd used to irritate me a lot. And the truth was, it was all about this girl, Chloe, who was insanely hot. When I finally got the nerve to ask her out freshman year, she totally humiliated me, and I stayed bitter since. I guess I had a big chip on my shoulder about it and didn't talk to her or her friends for the next 4 years. So imagine my surprise when she showed up at my house one night. She was crying, so I let her in. She said that her boyfriend dumped her when she found out that she secretly had a crush on me. What? Me? That sounded absurd, but she confessed that she was playing truth or dare with her friends. And she had to name a guy that she missed an opportunity with. And she told everyone that she wished she had gone out with me. But now that she was single, she wanted to know if I would escort her to the prom. I could barely believe what was happening. Chloe was asking me to the prom? I leapt in with all my heart. And it wasn't until morning that I realized that I had a big stinking mess on my hands. How had I become Mr. Popular overnight? I was worrying, but a voice inside my head told me to enjoy it. I reminded myself of all those Friday Boggle nights and told myself I deserved to be a ladies' man. At least for one night. everything started to work itself out. Chloe told me that she didn't even want to go to the chaperone prom itself. The after parties are all the rage, she said. And Grace's mom was crazy strict, and she had a super early curfew. Penelope was kind of in the middle. Luckily, she wanted us to go with a group of some other friends who weren't exactly coupled up, and I was able to sneak away and pick up Grace, who had a totally different set of friends. And I was able to bounce back and forth between the cliques. By the time I was dropping Grace off, I was getting texts from Chloe to take her to the party. I told Penelope I would meet her there, and I snuck in with Chloe to make appearances. I couldn't believe I was getting away with it. My adrenaline was pumping like I was some kind of double agent spy. Even though I didn't get caught, my night as Mr. Popular ended up a bummer when I saw Chloe talking with her ex at the party. They were clearly getting back together. She was probably just using me to make him jealous or something. I was feeling pretty low. But Penelope was around to make me feel better. I asked her why we didn't just check out a Star Wars marathon like we planned. She got all serious on me and said she was going to miss me after graduation. And then she took my hand. We felt sparks that night, and I even got up the courage to kiss her. Penelope and I got married a couple years later. But, like I said, I was sleeping on the couch these days and hoping our reunion would help us remember the good times. When we got to the reunion, I was suddenly reminded of the prom and how I had to keep the girls away from each other. I saw Chloe first. She still looked great, and I saw her looking at us, so I moved away into the crowd to hide. She and Penelope were never friends in high school, so I didn't think they would do much catching up. But sure enough, they seemed friendly tonight. I figured if I stayed away, the topic wouldn't come up. But then, Grace found me by myself and just had to say hello. I was feeling a little jumpy, and while we were chatting, I saw Penelope pointing me out to Chloe. I thought for sure they were talking about it. They walked over to us, and Penelope told me that she didn't know I was so popular in high school. I wanted to get her alone so we could talk, but she said she had some catching up to do. Suddenly, she turned into a social butterfly, dancing with all of these old jerks from high school. She was trying to make me jealous, and I figured Chloe must have let the cat out of the bag. I guess I got upset and told Chloe that she needed to learn how to keep her mouth shut. But Chloe said she didn't say anything. And then I pointed out that my wife was obviously trying to send me a message by dancing with all these guys. "Oops," Grace said. "What do you mean, oops?" I asked. She said that she mentioned that I was her date a few weeks ago on Facebook. Snaps, I thought. That was why I was on the couch. Suddenly, all my prom dates were surrounding me and demanding answers to a dance that was 5 years ago. Penelope was the first to attack. "You don't mind if I have a few dates for the reunion, do you?" I was busted hardcore, and I didn't have anywhere to run. So, I let the truth all hang out. I admitted it all to them. But like the hammer of Thor, they pounded me with all these different versions of the night. Grace told me that she never wrote all those love letters about me. Her bullies just made that up. And she thought she was doing me a favor by saying yes to my proposal. And Chloe said she wasn't using me, and she never got back with her ex. But it was Penelope's version that rocked my world. She told me that she was never dumped. She made up the whole story so I would take her to prom, and told me that she had been in love with me since freshman year. I was sure embarrassed, and I apologized to everyone. But by the end of the night, me and my 3 prom dates were laughing about it. Well, if I learned one thing, it's this: you reap what you sow. I spent my whole prom running around trying to pull the wool over the eyes of my 3 dates, but it turned out the whole time that I was the blind one, and in the end, it almost cost me the most important relationship in my life. Keep it real out there, guys. Otherwise, life can get sticky. Have you ever gotten tangled up in a lie? Tell us about it in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Hidden Wisdom stories. Remember, when you share our stories, you're sharing wisdom.